Good evening, YouTube. This is Kayleen Strain coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And today, going back to the tan bags for this one, US MRE. This is one of the items that I have gotten from foreignMRE.com. They have single US MREs, they have pallets, with cases, so you can buy by the case. They have some MCW or Mule Cold Weather. They have some vintage MREs, both tan and brown bag, plus a few foreign items. And I see we have Chris and Chicago, Pete. Thanks to you guys for dropping in. I don't know the date on this one because Warnick does not date their bag outside. So I will stick my fingers in the top and see what we got inside. Sometimes these peelable seals can work, sometimes they can be a bear, but I think this one is going to work because it's already starting to separate. Well, it did take a little bit of effort, but I got it open. And because this is Warnick, it is not double wrapped like the Ameriqual MREs. So, as you can see, I have a bottle of Tabasco. I opened it once before, used it, and then I recently put a little bit of it in just something that I ate here at home. I wanted a little kick to it. So, right off the top is the beef taco. It's the seasoned meat. Have two tortillas. Would have been nice to have the chipotle ones, but I got the plain ones, but they'll do just fine. There is Angry Blacksmith in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Got the Flameless Ration heater, which I will not use because I figure no sense in wasting these. I do this in my apartment, so I don't feel the need to burn through all of these, so I save these as an emergency prep item. Got the usual spoon. Have the accessory pack. This says Accessory Pack, which says ABB, so I'm sure it means Accessory Pack A. This has a date of 2017 on it. Let's see, the date on I'm looking for a date on the tortillas. Sometimes these can be, there we go. This one has an 8 on it, says 2018 tortillas, so this is a 2019 MRE. Here's another retort. This is Santa Fe rice and beans. So there will be 2 going in the pot. This is the plain cheese spread. Have the beverage bag, which again I do not use at home, but I do save all of these. These are great little storage bags, so I actually keep a couple of these in my bug out bag. I keep some of these in my get home bag. So they're a good item to have for emergency kits. Okay, here is the sleeve that has the stuff for the nutritional information and ingredients for both the beef taco and the Santa Fe rice and beans. And it just has a whole bunch of this other stuff. Of course, don't need to be bothering with that. Then the last item in here is a really big bag of nut raisin mix. This feels like double the usual size. 2.3 ounces. Seems like usually you only get about half of that. There is Claude in the house. Thanks for dropping in. So that is everything in the bag. That will serve as my trash bag. So I have a new visitor to the channel. So again, thanks for dropping in. Now I'm going to move some of these things aside. Have my foreignMRE.com spork here. I'm going to open up the accessory pack. Got the usual suspects here. A rear roll. Wet wipe. Packet of salt. Got some matches. Then the cold drink is an orange type 3, one of those little drink sticks that uses an artificial sweetener instead of sugar. And I see Michelle is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Got the creamer. The cinnamon gum. Got this genial coffee. And a pack of sugar. So I will no sauce, no Tabasco, no hot sauce of any kind in here, so be using this Tabasco. Well, that turnout was an absolute fail. it was above the seal and not below it, so I'm going to cheat with this one. Just a slight peach color to that. Normally, I mean, these drink sticks usually call for 20 ounces of water, but sometimes that can be a little weak. And my drinking jar, if I really fill it up, maybe 13 ounces. Oh wow, that's, are you pulling an all-nighter over there? There is Deb C in the house. Oh wow. I hope you're doing okay over there on your side of the pond, staying warm. There is JW in the house. This kind of looks like Tang now that it's all mixed up. I will put that back there. I like to mix up the cold drinks first because sometimes they take a while to dissolve. Oh, this thing really didn't want to open right either. This is what the Genio coffee looks like. These things just don't always rip very well. There's still some in there that doesn't want to come out, but I'm getting it. Well, that finally got it all out. Sometimes they miss when they're sealing. They get the tear notch above where the packet is sealed. It's creamer that kind of spilled into the tray. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take both of these into the kitchen and put these in the pot. Yes. And then I will come back to open up these other things, and I will take this into the kitchen. And the way I warm the cheese spread up is I put it on the lid of the pot, on the handle that's on the lid. And just the heat that radiates up from it is enough to warm it up. So then when I come back, I will have the kettle for the coffee. I am back. I just took the kettle back into the kitchen just to get it out of the way. Yeah, that's coffee, and these accessory packs come with creamer and sugar, or occasionally the accessory pack will come with a sugar substitute. That is in my foreign MRE mug. So the only other thing that can really be opened is this nut raisin mix. There is no dessert. That's probably why this is such a big bag of nut raisin mix. And they put an oxygen absorber in here. Usually you don't see these in the nut raisin mix. Sometimes you might. Sometimes not. See, there's M&Ms in here. There's peanuts. A few almonds. They do not feel like they have been roasted. So walnut. There's a hazelnut. So that is it for the nut mix. Yep, it's better to do that if you make your own. That way you can decide what you want in it. But sometimes the pre-made ones can be all right, but I do not see any cashews in here. So as you can tell, these are not roasted. They're not salted either. Here is Southern Ohio Prepping. Thanks for dropping in. That's what one of the raisins looks like. They do taste fine. I just wish that the nuts would have been roasted and salted. They don't have the M's on here, but they're basically M&Ms. They're a bit bloomed. But that's okay. That Genial coffee is okay, but there are better coffees out there. Like the coffee from the Chilean DAF rations. That is some good coffee. So for those that have come in late, this is US MRE menu 6. That's a beef taco. And I'm basically using the MRE bag as my trash bag because that's just what I do. And I can just take it all into the kitchen in one shot because I don't want to have to move this table to get at the trash can, and I keep it here because left of this table is my desk, and this table is right next to the door of the cabinet where I keep my trash can. You know, I have to keep my trash cans inside cabinets, otherwise my cat would want to get into them. And plus, I only use this one that's left of here to put trash in from when I open mail. I don't want any food waste going in there. That one, that stuff only goes in the kitchen. I concentrate all the smell there. Well, it looks like this stuff still needs a bit of a mix. Even though there was not a lot of powder in here, sometimes these take a little while to dissolve. But it smells like Tang, but not as strong as the original Tang does smell. Yeah, I think it's a good thing I didn't use a full 20 ounces of water, because it would have tasted a lot weaker. Well, yeah, that can be weird when someone has some odd issues with food. You know, some people can drink milk but not eat cheese. You know, I will eat raw cabbage and cooked cabbage, but let's just say sauerkraut and I do not get along, so I will not touch it. And I'll just leave it at that. Now, this Tabasco is the newer style of Tabasco bottles. I do have an empty bottle with the older style label when these used to be put into MREs. It didn't have as much of this red around this white area. And it would not have had all of this on the back side. So this is more of a commercial grade instead of maybe a mil spec, because you get an MRE with Tabasco, you're going to get it in a packet and not one of these little bottles. Oh, my mom used to make some killer cabbage rolls. And that is a Polish staple food, is cabbage rolls with tomato sauce, or at least that's how my mom used to make it. And we ate a lot of that when my sisters and brother and I were younger. Of course, we also ate a lot of tacos, we ate a lot of pizza. And my mom used to make a Russian dish called kulabiaka. And I happen to have the recipe for that. But that is a labor-intensive one, and it requires a lot more work surface area than I can do here. And plus, if you make the full recipe, you can feed an army with it. I don't remember what the Polish word or phrase for cabbage rolls is. I would have to look it up. But of course, we grilled a lot too. And even in winter, if we had a power outage, whether we were living here in Iowa or Nebraska or Arkansas, we had a grill. If we had a power outage, we were cooking on the grill. Because that's just what you do. You can get around the lack of power and just fire up the grill. Get more peanuts than any of the other nuts in here. I'm going to go back into the kitchen and flip the tortillas and the cheese spread over to warm the other side. There are a lot of, we also ate a lot of fish after we go fishing. And because my dad hunted a lot, we got a fair amount of meat that way, because my dad would get pheasants or turkeys or deer. My step-grandpa got some squirrels one time, so we got to eat squirrel meat once or twice, and we've had a rabbit a few times. And my dad would save all the, if my dad got a tom turkey, he saved the, he kept the tail intact with all the feathers stuck in it, and he put a family picture on a turkey tail, and we had that hanging in the house for some time. I don't know what he did to preserve it so that it wouldn't smell funky, but it had a prominent place on the wall, and my dad even kept the pheasant tail feathers, so we had those as a house decoration. Didn't keep the deer antlers, but the pheasant and turkey tails, yeah, those were kept. But in our frequent moves, I think something happened to those feathers, but of course the picture ended up with someone. But then my family got into a bit of a financial pickle after job loss, so my dad had to sell his shooters in order to get a little extra money just to pay a bill or buy food. And because I was getting SSI from when I was a kid, I was part of the safety net. So another time when my dad had to buy a pretty expensive part for the car, I told him, just take the money out of my SSI, go buy that part and get it fixed. And so he did that, and that got us out of a jam. For those that may not know, I had been getting SSI from when I was young because of my eyeballs. My mom was exposed to rubella when she was carrying me, and so that messed them up. But it is what it is. But I still do what I do. I haven't seen any new comments, so I hope you're all able to continue to chat, because I haven't seen anything new, so I hope I'm still broadcasting. I hope I'm not frozen anyway, because I was able to see myself take a drink of my coffee. I hope there are not any more issues like, oh, there we go. There is Pat Miller in the house. Thanks for dropping in. What I have is US MRE Menu 6 Beef Taco that I got from foreignmre.com. And this one kind of skimps on any kind of a dessert, so this is a snack and dessert all in one. But there are 2 retort pouches, so maybe that makes up for it. And no sauce or seasoning, so I have a little bottle of Tabasco. Oh, that's good. That's okay, it happens, Pete. You know, life happens. But I have the tortillas and the cheese in the kitchen, taking some radiant heat from the pot that I have the retort pouches in. So hopefully warming the tortillas up will make them less likely to break. Although the last time I opened up a pair of tortillas, they still started to break a little bit, but that's okay. Just makes your meal a little messy, and I'm okay with that. But I am going to bring all those back in here, so they should be done, and I'll be right back. I am back. I just bring a paper towel to wipe everything off. It makes pouches easier to handle when they're dry, especially when they're hot. Well, the bigger one is the beef taco. I suppose you could call it a filling. And then the smaller one is rice and beans. And then I just use this thing to carry them all in here. Now, these have the tear notches that go this way. I just shake the food down to get it away from the tear notch. It's supposed to be like a, it's supposed to approximate Spanish rice, I would guess. There's a bit of a bell pepper, I'm assuming, plus the black beans. That tastes a little bit, it does not taste quite like what you would think a Spanish rice would taste. It almost tastes like it has taco seasoning in it. That looks more like chili. This is going to spill over onto the rice, but I don't care. It just tastes like an underwhelming chili. But I know what I can do about that. I'm actually going to get a little bit of this together. Tabasco definitely helps. Now I'm going to open up the tortillas. Now they separated fine and they opened fine. Yeah, cheese spread looks good. I just licked off that little bit that was hanging on the edge of the tortilla. It tastes salty as usual. That's the only complaint I have about this cheese spread, is it tastes so darn salty. And just squeezing the rest of it into here, because why not? See if I can get it to melt. And I'm just going to mix all this together, because I think that'll kind of cut down on the soupiness of it. This, what I would call chili minus beans, because that's just what this so-called taco filling is like. It's like a chili minus beans. Well, I wasn't going to attempt to do that, but the tortilla already broke. There is easy money in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Well, it split after I folded it up. So I just flip it over so that the folded sides are on the bottom. But sometimes you just have to have a messy meal. Adding both the cheese and the Tabasco definitely does help this. It makes it a lot more enjoyable. But to keep doing this, I probably need about 4 or 5 more tortillas. Just having another drink of my coffee. I didn't use all of this. There is still a little bit in there. Not much, but there's a little bit left in there. But you don't need a whole lot of the Tabasco. You don't want to cover up the other flavors, which are pretty decent. It just needed that little extra kick. And by the way, you can buy these little little Tabasco bottles off of sites like, I think Minotaur Trading Company might have some. All MREs might have some. I don't know if MRE Mountain has them, but you can find these little bottles. You can get a 3-pack where there's this traditional red. Then there's a green one, which is would be like a salsa verde or a chipotle. I have not tried either one of those. And I know you can get the full size bottles, but I was referring to getting these little bottles. Say if you want to toss these in your food bag when you go camping. They're the perfect size for that. You would just want to make sure that they're wrapped up a little bit more so than some of your other items, just to make sure that if something happens and your bag gets banged around a lot, you know, you don't want your little glass bottle to break. Yep, this one is going to split already, so oh, it's going to split the other way too, so well, I'll just hold it like this. If this had the cheese spread with jalapenos, that would be really awesome. Same if this had the chipotle tortillas. Or I could have simply just done a quesadilla. I could have done that too, but I figured I would attempt this, and why not? It would also be cool if I had some crushed Cheez-Its. That could be a fun thing to add to this. I actually do have some crushed Cheez-Its. They were in the mystery box that I got from Minotaur Trading Company, but I'm saving those for something else. Yep, little texture, little crunch. Or even better yet, if I had some broken up corn chips or tortilla chips. Actually, this entree, the beef taco, would be a good thing to have as a walking taco. So if you had a bag of Fritos corn chips, or you break up some Doritos, you put this on there in that bag. Or if you have to put it in a bowl. Now that would be good. Yeah, like nachos, but you would have to have the cheese and lots of it. Instead of an orange drink, I think it would have been awesome to have a lime drink, but that's just me. But that orange drink is okay. It's just not one of my favorites. Yeah, and speaking of lemon lime, if you have those 2 lemon and 2 lime packets, you can make a drink out of those. I did that in one video when I was doing a bunch of snacks. I took a packet of the 2 lemon, a packet of the 2 lime, a little bit of sugar in some water, and turned that into a lemonade. So that worked out pretty good. Now the beef texture it's just your normal ground beef. That's all it is, like you would find in chili. But mixing it with the rice definitely does kind of give it a little something. But I do wish this would have had some crackers in addition to the tortillas. But I definitely wanted to try this one, and I'm glad I did. And I do enjoy it more with a little bit of that in there. I also have a few bottles of the Hot Diggity Dog that used to come in British ORP rations, but from what I've heard from some YouTubers on the other side of the pond, ORPs are not getting Hot Diggity Dog anymore. They're getting the little packets, which would make you have to use it all at once instead of being able to close it up. Use part of it on one main and then use the rest of it on another. You can't do that with a packet. It's all or nothing. I have it. I have just never opened it because I've just wanted to taste the food as is without adding anything to it. But now that I have had a little bit more experience with some of these, I may start getting into those. And when I start doing the ration mashups, if I put something together that might need a little hot sauce, I think I'll get the Hot Diggity Dog. And from what I've heard from those that have tried it, a little bit would equal a lot more of this. So it's apparently pretty potent stuff. I suppose people over there can just buy it in bigger bottles if you want to have a whole lot more of it. But those are about double the size or capacity of this. Yeah, like I said, it packs a punch apparently. but I'm pretty sure it has good flavor too. There are some other sauces that I've seen in other videos but haven't tried yet. But I will get there eventually. Yeah, the sauce in the Norwegian Arctic Field Ration, that comes in the gray packet. That's pretty good. There is Justin in the house. Thanks for dropping in. What you're looking at is a 2019 US MRE Menu 6 beef taco from foreignmre.com. And this had it's a ground beef in a very soupy taco flavored sauce. And then there's the Santa Fe rice and black beans with some bits of red bell pepper. It was also in quite a bit of sauce, but I mixed the two together. I would have preferred the rice to be more like a Spanish rice, which is usually a lot drier and with a little bit more flavor. But I added the Tabasco. This did not come with any kind of hot sauce, but since I had this open bottle of Tabasco, I decided to bring it in. There's no dessert. There's just this nut raisin mix with a few M&Ms. This is a Genio coffee. There are better ration coffees out there. But of course I'll drink it. It has creamer and sugar in it, and this is an orange drink. Let's see, menu 5. I don't remember what that one is, but I have had probably most, if not all, of the Lithuanian menus that do not have pork in them. And I found those quite enjoyable. Except I wish the nuts were roasted and salted. That would have made those a lot better. If you can get a hold of a Lithuanian ration, you would enjoy it. The drinks are pretty good. Sometimes they use the same type of drink that you would find in a Polish ration. The fruit flavored tea or a lemon tea, which you could make hot or cold. Or you would get an instant soup, and you would get the same kinds of special biscuits that you would get in Polish rations. I think they get them from the same supplier because their package is the same. The writing is the same. But those are affectionately known as tank treads, Panzer waffles, Panzer plates. They're pretty darn hard. They have a caraway seed in them, which I really like that flavor. But if you have a soup, you break them up into that soup or just put the whole thing in there and let it soak. It'll soften up and it'll be a lot easier to eat. But when I smelled that caraway, I knew I would like those, and I really do. They're not quite as hard as a true hardtack, but they're probably close to it. They're harder than pilot bread. But of course they have that flavor. Some people like the caraway, some don't. I happen to like it. I don't know if it's because I am a Polska or what, but I like that caraway flavor. But some of the mains in the Lithuanian rations are very similar to the Russian ones. And yet some can be closer to Polish. You may get more of the licorice smell from fennel. If you get some either fennel seed or fresh fennel and you sniff those fresh fronds of that fennel seed, or if you get anise seed, like the star anise, then you get that licorice smell. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You get either the fennel or the anise, you get that licorice smell. And that's where some of that flavor would come from. Now, fennel is different than fenugreek. The fenugreek has a totally different smell. I don't think they're a related plant. Yeah, we had a fenugreek seed in my moss kitchen, but when we got rid of everything, because we haven't been doing meals there, I don't know if anyone else took it. So I haven't been back there in a few weeks to check on things. I probably should go back. I'm a key holder, so I do have access. I can go check things out to see how everything looks. Now we do keep supplies of paper plates and cups and bowls and plastic cutlery, but all of the coffee and teas and everything that could be consumed was taken out and distributed. So I brought some of it home, and others did. So we will start with all fresh stuff when we start having meals there again. But I have no idea when that will happen, because that will depend on the big nasty. Even though our governor here has pretty much removed those very what I would call slight restrictions that we have had here in Iowa. Basically, the businesses can be at full capacity, no group social distancing in restaurants, yet she still urges people to be cautious, and she said no need to wear masks in public places, but yet Des Moines and Iowa City, our city governments are still saying you wear masks in public places. I'm still going to do it no matter what. Simply because we have one of the more contagious variants here in Iowa. It's not in my county, but it is in the state. And because I have people in my family who could get really sick from it, I choose to err on the side of caution. Now continue to do so even if I choose to get poked. Exactly. And plus, if people don't realize you wear a mask, you are also cutting down on seasonal flu transmission. Because flu rates have been down so much because a lot of people are social distancing, a lot of people are wearing masks or just not going out as much. If it wasn't for the fact that I have to go out of here to do laundry, unless I hand wash everything, I only go out when I need to go shopping, go to the post office, go see my doctor, go to a Walgreens to pick up my prescriptions. And I'm on our Transit Authority's Rider Advisory Committee, and we're having our meetings on Zoom. Yeah, I got on that and our Zoom. Well, I had my issues with that last month. I couldn't get the dang app to load up on one tablet that I put it on, and one on a tablet so I could have a bigger screen. But it wouldn't load, so I had to call in. But now that I have my Kindle Fire that one of my sisters gave me, I'm going to try it on that. Plus, she gave me her Bluetooth keyboard that she used with it. She got herself a new Kindle, and so she gave me her other one. So I have actually been watching YouTube on that thing because it gives me a bigger screen. Yeah, we have paratransit here, but I don't use it. I gave my mom an application, but I don't think she's ever filled it out. She is intimidated by city buses. The only time she has ever been in a city bus is like 3 years ago when we went to the state fair. And my sisters and my great niece and I all went, basically a girls' day out. And so that was the only time my mom has ever taken a city bus. And we rented an adult stroller that they had there. Yeah, that's what our paratransit does also, is people who have no wheels but need to get to certain places and they don't live close to a regular bus stop, then if they're eligible, they can take paratransit, but that can be iffy in some cases. There have been times here where a person who uses a wheelchair arranges a paratransit ride, but instead of sending a bus with a lift, a standard cab comes. And unless you get a cabbie who drives a vehicle that can accommodate a wheelchair, that person just doesn't go, especially if that person is using a power chair that cannot be folded. Or they just don't get picked up at all. No one comes. Yep. That's one thing about the paratransit. And also we have a service called Rideshare, which is similar door-to-door service for people who live outside of the city limits or normal bus routes but have to commute to Des Moines but don't drive. They can pay a monthly fee and get onto the rideshare list. And those are vans that are specially marked. So that's another service that we have here. Well, that finishes that off. But for the most part, our bus system is good here. It could be better, but we have electric buses here. We have 2 of them that I know of. I don't know if we have any more than that, but I know we have at least 2. I suppose it's time for me to decide what am I going to do next Sunday. I have 2 MCWs. I have the Oriental style chicken and rice. I have the seafood chowder that DeCarlos Perry sent me. It was very awesome of him to get me that because I have been wanting to get a hold of that one for quite some time, but he said he had an extra one, so he sent it to me. So I have that in the lineup. I have another MRE. And I have one more meal in the Russian box. Plus I have that Minotaur Trading Company Arctic Field Ration. Well, they're newer ones. The Shepherd's Pie. So I have that in the lineup. And the stuff that I got from the mystery boxes and those 3 Moors that I got from Foreign MRE. I went ahead and opened those up. Took those apart. So those items will be part of the ration mashups when I start doing those. There's James Ortiz in the house. Thanks for dropping in. The beef taco is gone. I ate it all. It had the rice and black beans, Santa Fe style rice and black beans. Those ended up getting mixed together. It didn't have any kind of hot sauce, so yeah, I did that. I threw a little Tabasco in there. And there's no other snack or dessert other than this nut raisin mix. Well, once I added the cheese spread, and some Tabasco, then it was pretty good. Here's Privateer in the house. That's another new name. Thanks for dropping in. I'm glad you can make it. All of my food videos go into my Ration and food reviews playlist. I have even put a few of my little recipe type videos in there. I don't have too many of them, but the ones that I've done, I put in there. Basically keeping all of my food stuff together in that playlist. So you can check all of those out. It'd be easier to find. You can just binge watch that whole playlist if you want. Yeah, these are not roasted or salted. And there's no cashews. At least there's more than 2 almonds in here. A little bits of walnut. There we go. There's an actual bit of walnut. And then the hazelnut. And of course the M&Ms, but without the printed M on them. Now these are a little bit bloomed, but they're still good. You know, some of the recipe videos that I've done in the past were for some of the Minotaur Trading Company Ration recipe cooking contests that he's had. And I submitted several of them, I think about 4 or 5. And one of them got an honorable mention. My version of chicken biryani. not got an honorable mention. And what I did was I took a chicken curry entree. I had, the rice, the instant rice. And then I threw in some of the spices from the Minotaur Spice. The little spice balls that you can get. Plus a couple of my own ingredients. And I actually did that one out on my deck. It was kind of hard, but because the table that I wanted to put my little stove on is actually a fabric table. It's not a solid one like the one that I would normally have used, but I've been keeping that one inside because for quite a while my deck was unstable and I was waiting on it to be repaired. So I ended up just putting my little camp stove on a little plastic stool that I have. But I did it outside. Now, I don't have a TV, so I don't get to watch that. I have Hulu, but I haven't checked to see if I could watch Chopped on it. But I think it would be fun to check that one out. Of course, Old Smokey has been on a show called Eating History on the History Channel. But because I don't have a TV, I tried to watch it online, but I would have to up my Hulu plan in order to do that. So I just didn't want to bother with that. Yes, he was on last night for those who may not have been aware. He was in the hospital a little while back, and he needed some time to recover. But he was on last night. He's not 100% yet, but he was able to at least taste some of the food that he had planned on. And what he doesn't eat, if it's edible, he shares with his family. And of course, he opened an MCI entree can. That one had gone south, so there was no way he was going to eat that. But at least it's cool to open it up and see what it's like. Yeah, the beers he gets old beers. Sometimes they're drinkable, sometimes they're not. Or sometimes somebody will send them an old soda, like an old root beer, birch beer, an older ginger ale, or some other older soda, and he'll open that up. He also collects old cigarettes that used to be either issued to soldiers as a separate item or would have been included in a ration. Because I think up until the 70s, maybe 60s or something like that, I'm not sure the exact time period, but you would get an MCI, and in the accessory pack, there would have been a small cigarette pack with 4 cigarettes in it. And there are people who collect those. Even if they don't smoke them or have never smoked a cigarette, they may collect those. Yeah, those the early versions of those patrol rations, those long-range patrol rations, or the ration cold weather, which precedes the meal cold weather. Yeah, there was freeze drying back in. That was in the early stages of it. And of course, the technology has only gotten better since then. And now people who have the bucks can drop a few grand and buy a freeze dryer and do it in their own home. But you also have a dedicated space for it because those things are big. And they're heavy. And they would almost have to have their own circuit. Yeah, I knew it had to be like early 70s. Well, Aletha is wanting a freeze dryer, but apparently, she and Jay don't earn a lot of money, so I think if several people who live close to each other would go in on it together and then share it, that would be awesome. So one person would just keep it in their house, but then the others who went in on it would just, schedule time with it, because when you run a cycle, it usually takes a couple of days to run a cycle. Yeah, you have to have pretty much a dedicated circuit for the freeze dryer because it is a juice hog. You would have to upsize the circuit breaker for that circuit to handle the load, because otherwise they would just be popping off all the time. So there's that issue. And if the grid goes down, well, that just becomes a storage box. Yeah, you just ask Black Dog Bob about retort production, because you either have to buy the pouch material and the sealers, or you have to have the equipment in order to put the pouches together to bond the layers to each other. Oh, wow. I just hope you got an intact one and the contents are correct for what that menu is supposed to be. But if if the seller is trustworthy and is at least somewhat knowledgeable, you can probably find some good stuff. I have bought rations on eBay. There was a seller I had bought some from. His eBay store was called Rations and More. But because he was importing rations from elsewhere, when the USDA started cracking down on importing meats, some just totally got out of it and just stopped doing it. They didn't want to go through the paperwork. But some will still do it. So far, I have not had any foreign orders get raided. So I don't buy rations off eBay as much as I have in the past. Of course, the ones that I want are pretty darn expensive. So that's another reason why I mostly just buy off of sites like Foreign MRE, Minotaur, MRE Nation, or MRE Mountain, or all MREs. There's another one that I heard about that I started looking at. But if I do buy a ration that comes from another country, I will not say who sold it because I don't want to get in trouble with the FDA. I did buy a halal MRE from Lithuania, and when I got that one in, I did not say where I got it from because, even though it was a US MRE, it was being sent from another country. I was afraid that it would have gotten raided, but it didn't, so I'm happy about that. Oh yeah, Pete, that would suck. One time, one of the Norwegian rations that Art and Nina got in, that one was opened up, but instead of the main being taken out, I think on one a drink powder was taken out, and another one the protein bar was taken out. You would have thought that because those were not meat items that they would have been left alone, but nope, they got taken out. And speaking of drinks, this stuff, this orange drink, it just didn't want to completely dissolve, so I'm mixing it again. Well, that's it. It's everything but the coffee and the orange drink. I still have the gum, but I'm not a gum chewer, but I do save these. I do keep gum in my in the food bags that I have in my get home bag and my bug out bag, because if I need a little something but just don't have time to eat something, or just don't want to, I just want a little bit of something. That's what the gum would be for. So I used to chew gum a lot more when I was younger, but then after some time I just stopped chewing it, but I still keep it. Yeah, that is weird. Just like it would be weird if, say, if I buy another Norwegian Arctic field ration from for an MRE, they still have some, not too many left, but they still have some. But I open it up and I find no drink powder, no protein bar, no hot cocoa mix or, something like that. Or if it's a breakfast one and the muesli's gone, you know. Yeah, because they've had non-meat items taken out of there, I wouldn't put it past them to pull some crap like that again. Well, that is pretty much it. Now, what do I want to do next to it? Do I want to go back to the Russian box and have my final vegetarian meal out of that? Or should I go for an MCW? So the MCWs that I have the seafood chowder that DeCarlo sent me, and I have the chicken and rice. So the way I got things in the box, the chicken and rice one is ahead of the seafood chowder. I got the chicken and rice MCW for an MRE. That was in my January order. Yeah, I am looking forward to that one. Yeah. I've had some of the other Mountain House mains. The first Titan ration that I got from Minotaur, when they were using the Mountain House mains, I had the spaghetti and the chili mac. Those are absolutely awesome. And of course, I had the turkey tetrazzini. So I've had a few of those so far. Yeah, it's Oriental chicken and rice. It will not be the same flavor as the brown bag chicken and rice because I'm guessing that would be more of just a common American flavoring. That would be my guess anyway. So this is the menu 9, rice and chicken, Mexican style, not Oriental. I'm guessing this is a 2019. There's no date code on this. And then this is the menu 6, seafood chowder. So these are the MCWs that I have. So this one has a foreign MRE sticker on it. Since I got this in from Art and Nina. And this is the one I got from DeCarlos. So he got this from another source. I had not seen this one on the Foreign MRE site, so I don't know if they just sold out that fast and didn't get a chance to put it up, or they just never got it, because I think they're getting them by the case. So these are the two MCWs that I have. Warnick does all of these. I think they're the only company that packs these MCWs, as far as I know. Yeah, I would like to do the breakfast ones, but since I don't eat pork, I pretty much stay away from those. That's the only reason why I haven't gone after any of those. Here is my other MRE, the Mexican style chicken stew. This came out of the Minotaur Trading Company mystery box. So this is another Warnick pack. So there'll be no date code on here, but I am assuming that this is probably 2018 or 2019. Yeah, I could not find a date code on the outside of this one, and this is a Warnick, but it has the different logo than and this one here. So I don't know if they just get bags from whatever supplier or what, but. But I was happy to see this come out of that box, because this is one that I'm interested in trying. And I can already tell that it has crackers in it. I can feel the cracker in it. But this will come up later. Yeah, there's another one that has the letters MRE in thinner and slightly bigger letters, but they go across and not at an angle like this. So yeah, they go across here. And you can easily see that. Say, if you go to the YouTube channel Eats, Treats, and MREs, you look at the channel banner photo on the top of the main page on her channel, you'll see the different bag styles. So you can see them all at once. And there may be some other channels that do that, but hers just happened to pop up as having that picture as a channel banner picture. Yeah, I am looking forward to trying this one. And I think it's one that I could have a little fun with. And because I still have a little bit of this Tabasco, I can either save it for the MCW, the chicken, or this one. If there are no sauce packets in there, or I may get a hot diggity dog and open one of those up and use that. Yeah, that's what makes me think this one might be a 2018. Because I don't know how long Bob had this. I don't know if he had ever sold this on the MRE Nation side, or if he just happened to have a bunch of these just laying around and he decided to throw it in the mystery box. Or whoever packed the mystery box. It wasn't Bob who packed it, it was someone else, but he just may have had them there, and when he told people to pack the boxes, they just threw whatever in, and this had ended up in the one that I just got disconnected, so I do apologize for that. Oh, that chicken tomato feta, I got that one from Aletha. That was, I think, a 2012 or 13. I don't remember the year on that one. But I really enjoyed that one. You know, the feta had completely incorporated into the sauce, so I was kind of hoping to see some actual bits of feta, but it had completely melted and became one with the sauce. But it was still good. I could taste it. So I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, the chicken tomato feta, that's another one of those that you either totally dig it or you can't stand it if you have actually tried it. But because I'm into that sort of thing, I really enjoyed it. And that was a menu that no one in her family, she or Jay, really weren't keen on. So when she and I did a trade, that was one of the items that she brought me, and I really enjoyed it. But if I could get that one again, yeah, I would get it again. Mine did not have cornbread stuffing in it. Yeah, especially, yeah, feta can be an acquired taste. Yeah, there's a Greek feta. I've had Bulgarian feta. I get that at the store that I get my halal meats from. I'm friends with the owners of that store. I can get the Bulgarian feta there. And it's a slightly different taste than the Greek feta, but other than that, it's all treated the same. But this one will come up later in the lineup. I usually do these in the order that I get them, except when I'm interspersing meals from a 24-hour ration, like I've been doing with that Russian vegetarian ration box, which had 4 entrees in it, one of them being mislabeled. So the mushroom kasha is the one that's left in there. And I am so looking forward to digging into that because I like mushrooms and I like Russian kasha. Yep, so I will be throwing in that final meal out of that Russian box, which will have elements from some other rations because there are not enough items in there to make 4 full meals out of it. So I've been pulling out of my stash to complete the meals with the Russian stuff. So like a Canadian pears or a pouch of applesauce or something like that. So I got that meal all put together. So I was planning on doing that one next week, but if you'd rather see the chicken MCW, then I will go ahead and do that one next. And then maybe do the Russian mushroom kasha Sunday after next. Yeah, I liked it too. It just needs a little bit more of something. I would be adding some seasonings to it to add a little extra punch to it. Yeah, that fettuccine, that spinach fettuccine is another one that is either you like or you don't. Yeah, a little black pepper and maybe a little bit of chili of some kind. Yeah, spinach is high in iron, so you will get that. Now, I will eat raw spinach leaves in a salad. I enjoy that. But when it's cooked, it has to have something. My old the school I went to in Nebraska used to serve it just plain cooked spinach with vinegar, but it just wasn't one of my favorites. Of course, I was a little kid back then. But if I eat cooked spinach, I want it to have some other flavors with it. Yep, little garlic, maybe a little onion. Or if you treat it like you do southern greens, you treat it like that, then it can be good. If you treat it like you would collard greens in the sauce that collards are usually put in. I would enjoy it that way. Yeah. Use a P38 or a P51. I never figure that one out. Yeah, I know. I was just having a little fun. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one done. There's nothing left but my orange drink and coffee. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. So this is a fun chow and chat. So come back again next week, 7 p.m. U.S. Central. Be 8 Eastern. So far, this time has been working out good. In the meantime, check out the Ration Museum stream. It was a longer one today, photographing some more rations. And check out what Old Smoky showed last night in his stream at the beginning. Some epic stuff. So you gotta check that out, what he had that someone had sent him. It'll just blow your mind. And some of those items may go to the Ration Museum, so check out Old Smoky stream from last night. Even if you don't watch the whole thing, watch the beginning. See what he pulls out of a couple of boxes. And I'll just leave it at that. So thanks for coming out and hanging out with me tonight as I eat my dinner. I'll go get this cleaned up, and thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.